Hello, 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 everybody. It's your girl, Ashley, the amateur expert, coming to you live on this TGIF Friday, where I'll be asking a question from my friend. I'm so excited for you guys to be joining us. It's a new segment that I'm introducing, asking for a friend, having a candid conversation with people and talking to them about getting some questions answered, questions that, for my friend, not for me. So as soon as our guest this week gets in, as soon as our guest comes in, we will get started. I also want to announce that I'm doing a giveaway. I interviewed Mecca of Rituals last week on Tuesday, and we are giving away one of her kits. So if you could, please look at one of my last posts so you can be eligible. Hey, T. All right, so Tabby is in the room, so let's get her at it so we can get started.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you. I'm so happy that you are here and we get to have this candid conversation today.
This is a big deal. This is a
It
big
is.
deal. I'm super, super, super excited.
I'm so excited to be doing this and to be doing this with you specifically for a couple of reasons. What I will say to get started is I was talking to my homegirl the other day, and she was just wondering, like, where would where would you gain confidence from if you were trying to be on TV or trying to interview people? And I was like, I have the perfect person to ask this. And so it reminded me though of when I saw you at the Wien Awards in 2015. You were
Yes.
there and you were
hmm
covering the award show. You had
hmm
your mic and you had your cameraman, and I was like, this is so cool. And so I was like, it was something that I was inspiring to be and do. And I had none of the confidence and was unsure of my abilities. And so I actually want to read a text message
Oh my
um,
gosh.
that you sent me, and then I want to hop into the question. And so um, basically, I was just sort of saying it was so good to see you, God is so good, and that we had totally ran into each other there because I hadn't seen you in so
hmm
long. Um, and you said, aside from all of that, you want to be, aside from all of that, I want you to be encouraged. Whatever your heart desires, you can have. I believe in you. And you're like, you should believe in you. I said, thank you. I said, I know you genuinely mean that. And I'm starting to believe that I can. And you said, I observed you last night and you have the tools and connections to accomplish your goal. Go for it. Run for it. Allow others to be there for you. Reach out. They know you. And you don't think, and don't think of yourself as being on a lower platform. You are qualified. If God gave you the dream, trust that He's given you the team, tools, and equipment to accomplish the task. Remember the puzzle pieces we talked about? It's real. And I go back to this text from time to
Oh.
time, and I just am renewed in my spirit and I'm inspired. So I want to say thank you for saying those words. This was November 2015.
Oh my gosh. Like, it's so crazy. When that you were able to like find it. See, I'm getting like misty eyed. And it's honestly like the truth. Like what I told you is what I told myself all the time. There was a song I used to listen to by like Joanne Rosario. It's a gospel artist.
Okay.
And basically, I can't remember. I'll find the song and I'll let you know. But what she would always say, like the whole motto of the song is like, God's already given you everything that you need.
Mm.
Everything that you need, you have. You were born with it. It
So
isn't
good.
something that you had to earn. It wasn't something that you had to do. You didn't have to say 50 prayers. God thought so much of you that He instilled this in you before you even became on this earth.
So
And so that's how I feel about dreams. That's why dreams are like so big to me, because I'm like, no, if you saw it, because it all starts in the mind, right? So where do you get confidence from? That you build. Now that
mm-hmm.
I can't say like you're born with it and you just have it. No, even the most confident person is probably shaking in their boots,
Yeah.
right? So I can think back to like my very first interviews and everything. I was so nervous, and
Mm.
I'm sitting with One of my first music interviews was with Lady Saw,
Okay.
right? And I'm looking at her like, oh my gosh, you're a big reggae artist. I grew up listening to invited to your music, and right? And it made me literally nervous, like to the point my hands were like shaky like that. But you know, you pull it together, you have this
Absolutely.
camera, and it's like, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. And my team is waiting, like, fire off. And she literally turned, and it's so amazing. The entire interview, she's massaging my back.
Oh,
It was just like the sweetest thing. And I think you have to allow people to be there for you, right? Like, you can't have that mindset of everybody's out to get me. Are there people that aren't rooting for you? Sure,
right.
right? But there's way more that are on your side. There's so many
Absolutely.
more people that you didn't even think would pay attention to anything that you're saying or even care. They're like, go, they're rooting for you. So the confidence starts with one, you having the dream or
Mm.
having that vision, whatever that is. Two, you have to take the first step. You can't just have a dream and then expect God to drop it in your lap and then you expect yourself to know how to handle it. It's not going to happen that way,
Right.
right? So you know what you want to do. Now you have to take the step towards learning how to do what it is you say you want to do, which is reaching out to people. Even if you don't know them, I've made so many connections via social media, just hitting up people and being like, can you tell me how to do this? Or how'd you do that? So, yeah, research, practice, and like I believe in power stances. I really do. You know what I'm talking about? Like the power pose?
Yes.
Yes, you have to do a power pose. I know it sounds crazy, but especially if you're somebody that wants to be on camera. Like I've had news anchors tell me, get a newspaper, read out loud, read to everyone that wants you to read to them. This way you hear your voice and you practice not sounding so monotone when you're saying
Mm.
something to someone, right? So
That's
you get
good.
used to
That's
that.
good.
I watched Adrienne Bailon. She recently was talking about how she inadvertently was preparing herself to be on TV. She would
Yes.
read the TV caption. All those things are real,
Yes.
right? And you take these little steps without knowing it, whether it's hanging out. Let's say you don't have the confidence, but you have a friend that's super confident in the most positive way, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
can be confident or
Yes.
appear confident, but really you're so lackluster, it's not even working. Because
It's
if
true.
your confidence comes from turning someone else down, you're not confident.
Right.
So, but if there's someone around you that's so confident that they take the time to talk to other people, that's who you need to be with. That's
That's
who you
good.
need to learn from. That's how you got to learn how to move. I
That's
hope
so
that
good.
answers.
Yes, that's so good. I can't wait to tell my girlfriend that because she's gonna need to hear it. But this actually comes at a perfect time because tomorrow are the Ween auditions. So the same event that we were at,
Okay.
they're hosting their summer um, boot camp
Now, are they still doing
auditions
it
tomorrow.
according to like age groups and?
So
Mhm.
Felicia has been hosting these master classes,
Mhm.
and so in all of the classes we've been spamming her and saying it needs to be 30 plus, 30 plus, 30 plus because typically it was between the ages of 18 and 26. And I've
Right.
always been too old for it. And so this year she extended it so it's 18 plus. No, there's no age gap. And
That's
so
good.
I submitted my application yesterday. Auditions are
Okay.
tomorrow. And so I think this is like just like a sort of like a full circle moment for me. And so I'm excited to be having this conversation with you because I wasn't as confident as I thought I needed to be, or I don't feel as confident as I know I need to be. Um, and so, going off of the things that you just sort of spelled out, I'm super, super excited and more encouraged now
Do you
for the
journal?
audition. So, last week's episode was about manifestation, and
Mhm.
Michaela talked about the power of journaling and how you should do it. My therapist always says you should journal. Today, I journaled a little bit,
Good.
It's not something that
Journal
I
journal
do
about the
as for
moment that you
habit.
want.
Mm,
I can tell you right now, I'm not one for habit. My phone is always in my hand. I have like random notes. I set random reminders, and that's my equivalent to like journaling.
yeah,
However, if there's a goal that I really want, I write it down. And I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's me spelling out, this is what I want. and this is what it's going to look like. And this is how I'm going to react when I have it. Be very specific.
I love that.
If there's anything I could tell you, be super specific, right? And I'm saying that from experience. I would pray
Uh-oh.
all the time and be like, God, I want this and I want that. And honestly, I joke with my parents all the time. I'm like, yo, God was playing tricks on me. Like, he's literally sitting there laughing at me because he gave me
Uh-oh.
what I asked for. But
Yeah.
because I wasn't specific in what I wanted, it's like, wait, this ain't the picture though.
Right, right, right. That's not what I
Oh. So you want me to like spell it out for you? Okay. All right, I got you. Ha ha, good one. So
yes.
be specific.
And someone in the comments just said that she records herself if she's unable to write it or put it to words. That is really good. I think I'm more auditory, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I started the Damage Expert as a blog because I was so excited. I wanted to share things with people, and I was super insecure about my writing ability. So I stopped. But in doing the videos, I'm more confident than I was in my writing, and so I think it's true. You do have to figure out what works best for you.
I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you because you've been consistent, right? Because that's the other thing. You can't just want something and expect it to happen, and you put no time, no effort, and you didn't give patience to allow it to grow into something. So I'm just so proud of you because
I
even in
thank
doing this
you.
and like putting this together, I'm like, you are my first live session. I'm like,
That's so
oh.
perfect. And now, right, you're normally doing the interviews and you're being interviewed. So I
I'm
want to
being interviewed.
I'm excited
Go.
about this. So I want to ask you, um,
hmm
so you said you're nervous. Do you still get nervous when you do your interviewing?
All the time. All the time. I get nervous because so I'm filming a TV show and it's focused around food, right? So that's completely different from the other things I've covered, which has been music and like festival events, artists, album reviews, red carpets, things like that. Now this is like chefs and I have to be able to pronounce their names and I have to know how to pronounce the certain accoutrements that are out. And I
Correct.
get nervous because I'm like, oh my God, I didn't get those notes. Or if they like throw somebody else in. And of course you have to be spontaneous. You have to be okay with you have to be okay being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be on camera, you have to know that whether you work in like regular news, the teleprompter may freeze. New news may come in and they didn't have time to feed you the notes. So they're
Right.
feeding it via ear. And you have to know how to filter and say what you mean, think before you say it, and go for it. So in those moments that I'm nervous, I tell myself like, okay, I could do this. I definitely do have people in my corner that I have no problem saying, I am so nervous right now. Like, oh my gosh. Right? But it's like,
That's so good.
I think my biggest thing is the fear of not going for it scares me more than the fear of having to recover from it. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Like the
That's
and
like
that's
that's
only
like
because
that's like snap worthy.
thank you. But I mean that was a learning lesson for me where I had this huge interview. I had an entire cast of a major TV show to interview. But because one of my major mentors and idols was present before me, like I could reach out and tangibly touch her,
Mhm.
everything else went out the window. And when I wasn't able to ask her the questions that I wanted to because of the way that the event was going, I didn't care about anything else.
Mm.
And I literally let the whole major cast, like I did those interviews, but I was not giving my all. I was just kind of like, okay, thanks so much for talking. Right? And
Your
it's
whole
like
disposition was changed. Your heart
everything
posture had
changed.
changed.
And it's
Yeah,
like, wait a minute, this is still a big moment. The other moments will come back to you, but you can't lose sight of what you're doing presently. Does that make sense? I hope I
absolutely.
didn't like go off on
Absolutely.
some
Someone asked
random.
if you can repeat. No, that was good. Someone asked if you can repeat that word that you said.
Which
If you can't
one?
recall it from memory, like if you can't recall it from memory, there will be a playback, guys. So don't worry, I'll be saving this and you can come
I'm
back and
sorry, I don't.
rewatch it.
Which one? I just told a story. I'm thinking back. That's the
You
other
said
thing. You got to be okay thinking rapidly too. It's media is like this. Like
so
I don't know.
overthinking has
Are
to be
you a
out the
fan of
window.
like
So overthinking out the window.
or be able to have multiple thoughts? But
Mm,
you have to be able to be in control of your thoughts. If you want to be someone on camera, if you want to have a job that puts you front and center, then I'm trying to read the notes. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that. But if you have a job in front of the camera, you have to know that no matter what's going on in your personal life, no matter who made you mad, no matter if you stubbed your toe, no matter if somebody just died, if you're someone on camera, you can't be crying and thinking about that.
Mm.
All that has to be able to go over here, and you have to put on the happy for whatever moment you're present for.
Mm.
And okay, I see the note. The fear. So, what I'm mostly afraid of is the fear of not going after what it is that I need to try. No matter like whether I'm equipped, maybe my hair wasn't right, maybe I don't have all the notes. The fear of not doing it scares me more than doing it and having to recover from it not being my greatest way that I envisioned it. I
Yeah.
think that's, and I feel like that's for anybody in life. Like regret is always something. I don't want to regret it. I want to know that I asked that question. I want to know that I threw myself out there. Like red carpets, you're literally physically throwing yourself out there, depending on how big it is and like what the event is, because you have PR people that stand in your way.
You're right.
So you have to get the attention of the star or someone on the star's team. And everybody, you're crammed in like this. You only have this much room. And maybe your camera guy can get an angle. You got to go for it. Whether he got it or not, you have a little recorder or something. You got the sound bite. You had that moment. You seized your moment.
That is so good. So good. So good. So good. I'm so happy that you're sharing these gems with us.
Oh, this is so much fun.
So
I'm having a
quickly,
ball. Yeah.
um, so when you're thinking of like the best question to ask, do you ask the same question to all of your guests? So when you're red carpets and covering events as opposed to the TV show, are you asking the same type of questions, or how do you formulate the questions that you're going to be asking?
For me personally, I like to have a genuine experience with everyone I come in contact with. So I'm not going to ask the same question. I'm not going to say, why are you here today? What are you wearing? Everybody's asking those questions. Instead, I'm looking at you and maybe it's something that you're wearing caught my eye. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. Like, I'm very much, my introduction to TV is one in a million. And I accept that and I understand that. And that's because I wasn't made for it. I wasn't coached for it. I
Mm-hmm.
started in TV at the age of 5, and I started on Sesame Street. Like none of this was something. There was no audition. I literally just happened to be there. My sister was originally chosen to be on the show,
Okay.
and my mom couldn't find a babysitter. And so I'm on the side being the little sister that wants to do everything her big sister's doing. So
Of
I'm
course.
jumping and I'm trying to imitate what my sister's doing, completely oblivious to anybody else being around. And my mom is being that black mom that's like, sit your little, you know, I got those
Be
patience,
still.
I got the threat. Right. Not even, no, keep still was too nice for me. I was hard headed, right? So I was that child. And so I'm showing my behind and being like, no. And, you know, and trying to do whatever my sister was doing. And what
Okay.
happened was the camera guy and the producer saw me and they kept panning the camera over. By lunchtime, they came over to my mom and said, we want her to be part of the show.
Oh
And my
wow.
mom, because I'm that kid that's like, sit, wait till we go home. You know, she's doing all that. My mom thought it was a joke and she told them no. She was like, no, she don't listen. She can't do it.
Oh snap.
And so she
That is
told them
hilarious.
no, and they had to come back again with the actual paperwork. And my mom was like, "Oh, you're for
Oh.
real? Go, Tabby, go do it." You know. Then it's like, okay. So I'm saying all that to say, you know, you never know what it's gonna be, and you can't ask the same questions. You have to be genuine. You have to be yourself. If your personality is to sit back and observe, then I would advise you don't change who you are, own it. So
Mm,
if you're a planner, then plan out what you're going to say or plan out, you know, do your research always, no matter who you're interviewing,
for sure.
and leave things open for you to have a wild card person. Like what if I don't know, if it's someone, let's say you want to interview Sierra,
Okay.
What if she brought her husband? Would you ask her a marital question? You know, be prepared for whatever it is, not just the project that they have coming out, not just
Right.
the things they've done in the past. Research the person, who they are, and what interests you about that. What fact
Hmm.
do you think people don't know?
Right.
Go
That's
after
good.
that.
That's really,
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, so I watched your reel, which is amazing, by the
Oh my
way.
God.
And
Thank
so a
you.
lot of people were saying that that's a good question. Oh, that's a good question. Like, so that was something that that's why I definitely wanted to ask you that today. I am overwhelmed with joy. I'm so happy that we did this.
It's
I'm
amazing.
so happy.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other questions. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with
I'm
us,
about
my
to say, is
dear?
this the end? Well, now people that are here, ask your questions. What you
Any
got?
questions we have, guys, bring them in, throw them in.
I'm reading through comments. Sorry, I couldn't do both at the same time.
No, you're good.
Oh, hi, Darlene. um,
And so,
if
okay,
you
I will
record
ask.
yourself, oh no, go ahead.
So I'll ask you. Did you? So from the point of Sesame Street, did you know that that was? Is that what made you want to do TV and broadcasting and journalism?
For sure. So I did Sesame Street from age 5 to age 10. And I would record their skits. So I wasn't like the regular, girl. I didn't get the chance to be Gabby. And the character I actually wanted to be was the girl who got to fly when she opens the closet doors. You remember that?
I don't remember her.
All I know is she opened,
No.
she was in the long hallway with doors, and she got to fly. And I was like, I want to fly. And they're like, that's not what we got for you. So I did things like
So you
teaching
had
kids
to.
the
So you had
number
to deal with not
14.
rejection, but you had to deal with the no's early on. So that was
Oh,
probably
yeah.
helpful for your career
Oh,
as well.
the rejection. I'm gonna be honest. My mom
Mm. Well, she look
got
she rejected your opportunity first. So from
no,
that,
no, 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 no. I mean, like my mom is definitely one of my biggest supporters, but she's also a realist. And when it came down to um the opportunities, and even with Sesame Street, they like I got paid for that stuff, right? My parents, instead of me getting paid full out, they had residual payments, which in turn went into my college fund. So with all that, you can easily become a brat because even though you're a kid, you still got to sign the checks. And I saw the checks and I saw this money. It was like, I'm rich, baby, And it's like, no, you're not.
right?
She made sure to keep you grounded. And it was like, you need to learn your lines. Like, if this is what you want to do, then you need to sit still, read your lines.
Mm,
You see all these other kids here? One of them is going to take your spot because you're not focused. You decide which one
mm,
you want to be. You decide what you're going
okay.
to do. And she would, and I was 5, right? She's
Well, that's good
do it
training, though.
again,
That's
say it
good. That's
again,
so
say it
good.
without, looking. And so that was a lot of it. And then going on to do different TV shows and kind of just sitting back. I've always been mesmerized by TV and more so how it works. So
Mm,
I wanted to produce things this way. I don't want to just see what someone else puts out. I want to see what I'm envisioning, right? Like, how
for
great would it
sure.
be to have this moment be on TV?
For
So,
sure. For sure.
how
For
do we generate
sure.
that? Which is exactly what you're doing. I know you're looking at this as just being on camera, but in the creation of all this, you are a producer, my dear.
I am a producer.
You're a producer. That's right.
Yes.
You created the content, you created the platform. It's yours.
I love it. And so someone asked, what is your why?
I need more detail. Why? Why what? Like,
Um,
why do I do
my
this?
my thought is
Or,
probably your why for wanting to be maybe in entertainment or being on camera or maybe I'm trying to see who asked it. Um, her name has been there, but if you can follow up with a question, that would be great.
yeah, I just
Mm.
need a little bit more detail. A little bit. Because there's,
So,
I'll go for it.
why do you do what you do? Is what she is asking.
Okay. Because I would go to sleep and I would literally dream about it. I'd see people, and it's like kind of like when you go shopping. I know women can relate to this. I hope dudes do. Maybe it's like the new pair of sneakers where you see it and you don't know why, but I want those, right?
Hmm.
And so it's seeing people do this. And it's kind of like, oh, I want that. And you have to know it's not going to be an easy journey. Like,
Right.
I'm still out here struggling and working, and it's a hustle. And you're consistently asked, why do you want it? In the ways in which you go after whatever that desire of yours is.
Mm.
Because you're going to be met with roadblocks. You're going to be met with no, things just aren't going to take off the way that you want to. What makes you keep going?
And so what's your motivation to keep pushing yourself?
Hmm. I'll be honest. It's it's a combination of things. Honestly, there was a time where I was like, you know what, this isn't working. This is not working. I am burnt. I am tired. God, like, and just sitting there like that. And so in those moments, I did step back. I stepped back for myself and was like, am I trying to fit someone else's mold, or am I really staying true to what it is that I want?
Mm.
Um, and so in taking that time off, that is what allowed me to know, no, this is what I enjoy. Because when I stepped back and we removed everything, it wasn't the hustle and grind to pay this bill or to get this money or to get this interview. It was literally, I'm just doing this for fun. What you do for fun, that's really what you want to do.
So true. So, so, so true. And so who's your dream interview?
Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Top three.
Top three. Top three. One, I've always wanted to interview my father.
Mm.
And he's not giving me that. And I think that would just be so insightful and so much knowledge that I would go crazy over. Two, hmm, I'm biting my tongue because it used to be Oprah, but now I don't want to interview Oprah. I have a whole nother dream and plan for Oprah. I don't want to interview her. No.
Okay. Okay. Look, okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're like, oh, okay. Um, so who would I want? I'd want someone that I can genuinely like learn from. Um, that's a good one. I'm stumped. Wow. Okay. Uh,
All right. I'll let you think on it.
yeah, I'm really thinking hard. Hi, Arlene Victoria. A lot of people say that. She just said I remind her of Gabrielle
I
Union.
was gonna say Gabby and Brandy is who you get always.
Yeah, all the
Um,
time. How do you make yourself approachable without seeming desperate? I got a story on that. Sometimes be desperate. Be
mm,
desperate. Be willing to go after it, right? I went to a show, and I kid you not, on my right was Oprah and on my left was Anna Wintour. And you're looking like, and I was a guest of someone else. I have lipstick on my teeth, sorry. I was a guest of someone else.
sorry.
And so it was just kind of like, okay, I can't embarrass them, but I'm
Hmm.
really excited right now, right? And so I'm
Right. Of
pinching
course.
the person I'm with. I'm like, oh my God, do you see? And they're like, they can hear you. I was like, even better. Right? And they were like, oh my gosh, don't embarrass me. And for a second, I felt bad, but I heard someone speak. I can't even remember who said it, but then I turned. I was like, no, I don't care if you feel embarrassed. That's your problem. That's not my problem. Because the greatest compliment I can pay to someone is to say, I'm so honored. I'm so excited to see you. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm not asking for a selfie. But if my joy makes me go, it's you, receive it. So
For
it's
sure. For
okay to
sure.
be that desperate, because honestly, if you're offended by someone wanting to say hello, that's more of a you problem than a my problem.
That's true. That's so, so, so true. Wow. So wait, what did you do?
I definitely waved high, and Anna gave a like this, and Oprah actually. So I've had a few run-ins with Oprah since that moment, and I don't know if I said Oprah was the person I was upset that I couldn't talk to when I said I
No,
could
you
like
didn't
reach out
say.
to. Okay, no, that was Oprah, and so I was really upset. But I've had three other opportunities to converse and to like say what I want to say. And I thought really hard on what I wanted to say. One of them was she did a speech at the Apollo,
Mm-hmm.
and they took a break. Here's a desperate story. They took a break. Now, the Apollo was filled to capacity because Oprah's on the stage. And I'm sitting and I had an aisle seat, and I was orchestra left. And I was just a few
Okay.
rows from the stage. And I'm sitting
Mm-hmm.
there and I'm looking, and everybody's talking because Oprah's on break. And I'm like, I don't see no security.
Excuse me.
Nobody's at the stage. Nobody's stopping nothing. I'm going for it. And I literally ran to the stage and was at the foot and was like, Oprah.
You didn't
And I was
Lady
like,
O her, Mrs.
no, no,
Winfrey.
no, no. Oprah, Oprah, Oprah. Oh, right? Like, this is my personality. I'm really like over the top. And
I love
I just
it.
started talking and was like, I am so excited to meet you. Here's what I'm thinking, you know. And she signed and autographed my book for me.
Love it.
And I was just like, I let her know that my dream was, and I was like, I need to be very specific in my dream. And I told her, I was like, I don't want to work for you. I want to work with you. I don't want to work for you. I want to work with you.
I
And
love
she
it.
was like, well, okay. I was, well, speaking your dreams. I was like, I'm speaking my dream. Now, after I did that, then 10 of the people came. But
Mm.
I was like, I got my moment. And once again, that would have been something I would have regretted. Having the thought of like, there's nobody that's going to stop me. I could actually make it.
Yep.
Go for it. At
That
worst,
is
I
so
get
good.
tackled. Okay. You know,
I might get a bruise. I mean,
I
no,
got a bruise chasing Oprah. Okay. Big deal. You know, whatever.
that is so good. Someone asked, what would your advice be to a young lady who is trying to pursue their dream in journalism?
Oh, have thick skin. Be okay if they say no. And if you can't find your way through the door, be okay creating your own. Oh, no. If you can't find your seat at the table, bring your own chair. That's from Shirley Chisholm. Bring your own chair.
So good.
Sometimes people aren't going to recognize the talent that you have within you. Sometimes it takes the longest to actually acknowledge who people are or the fact that they've been doing things for so long. I'm thinking about like artists. There are artists who, okay, LMA. Everybody went crazy over Boo or that song that she had, but it had been out for years.
Yep.
It was so old that she went on to do other things, but eventually people realize that you're hot. They wake up to what you already knew, and you just have to know it without being cocky.
That's true. And be consistent, right? And be
Be
consistent.
consistent. Put it to work. Put it to practice.
That's so good. I think a lot of
Hey,
people,
Sade.
I
I
think,
see you
hey,
caught. I'm
Shadi,
like,
I think people are so, especially our generation and younger, are so accustomed to like the microwave lifestyle, right? They want to say something and they want it to happen overnight. They want to write one article and they want it to be in the New York Times. Like we have to put in the work.
there's nothing wrong with having the I'm gonna write it and I want it to be right away. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, I've had moments where, unbeknownst to me, my first journalistic jobs I did not apply for. I
Mm.
did not. I I had spent the most of my time, even at UConn, people that went to UConn with me, I'd be sitting there and I would say, oh, I want to be like a VJ. I want to do music. I want to do red carpets. That's all I want to do. I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know what to do. And it would be through talking to one person who maybe knew somebody else, and somebody said, oh, I need a fill in. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
really? You're giving me a show to fill in? Okay. You know, and just kind of like being ready for it. And you also have to know that if you have that microwave mentality, right? And let's say you do get that thing, what you missed was cultivating the skills to know how to
Mm.
handle it. And
That's so
so
good.
I did go through a moment of now I'm propelled in the place I said I want to be, but now I feel less than in the space because the people that are around me may have went to college for that. Maybe the
Mm.
professors gave them professional training. For some reason, I mean, honestly, I dealt with this for years
Wow.
where I thought I'm less than because they have their degree in this. And that's not what my degree is in. And because of that degree or because of that certificate, they know and they have information that I don't have. And it took me forever to realize the simplest of things. I was in the room.
Period.
It doesn't matter. And that's period. I was in the room. And that was like the biggest thing. It doesn't matter whether you had it or not. You also have to realize I'm there. And I'm there not because I did anything off color, off brand, and sketchy. They saw my worth before I necessarily did in that moment. And I was in the room. And if you're in the room, take advantage of the knowledge in the room. And what you feel you lack, that's when you have to be okay asking someone, which I did. You know, I would ask other female journalists in
Okay.
the room, hey, how'd you do X, Y, and Z? How do you
Okay.
negotiate your price list? What is that? Like, I'm not trying to get into your money, but I'm trying to understand how does
The
this,
process, for sure.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
so good. I'm so
Anything else? What else? What
happy.
else?
I'm overwhelmed. Like for real. I am. I'm so happy that we did this. Ask the questions, ask. Oh, ask the questions to other people. Sorry. I was like, what questions do you want me to ask, guys? Yes, no, that's
Yeah.
so important. So, so, so important. Felicia actually in one of her webinars was saying the same exact thing. You're in the room, you don't feel less than.
Yeah.
You're in the
And
room for a reason.
that's something, and you have to say it to yourself. Don't think that you're just automatically going to be confident. It doesn't happen that way. Confidence is something you build. It's a daily exercise. It's a daily practice. Like I used to have a reminder on my phone that would go off maybe at like 1 p.m. It was all last year. It used to say, you are enough. Just a daily reminder. You can set it on
Yeah.
your phone. It doesn't have to be a big, you are
That's my
enough.
mantra. No, that's literally my mantra.
But I think now I got rid of you are enough because now I'm like, I knew that, right? And I think now it's kind of like, I wish I could see it now because it's all blocked off with my
Oh,
phone.
on your
Uh,
phone, yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to remember what the reminders are. I think one of them for a while was like, just because you thought it doesn't mean it's true. Your mind can betray you. So just because you thought it doesn't mean
Mm.
it's true. Uh, it's like, and my mind gets real creative.
Same.
It gets real creative.
Same. That's
So
so
just because you
good.
thought it doesn't mean that it's true. And I'm trying to, so like behind me is a whole vision wall, right? Because I couldn't confine my thoughts to a board. And one of them, on my back, but like one of them is for my sis. And she actually says, find out who knows what you don't know and ask them to teach you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so good.
How
So,
would you deal
so,
with
so
someone possibly not wanting to share knowledge with you? Move on. There's not one gatekeeper of all the knowledge in the world, right? So, one, you got to do your part. Don't just expect everybody to hand feed you what they've worked years to do,
that part.
right? They're not just gonna say, "Here's
Right.
everything I spent my life on, and you look pretty. Have it." No, you still got to do research. You got to look up things, and if they don't answer you, there's still other people. There's no
Yep.
gatekeeper when it comes to that. But you have to be willing to do the legwork. You have to be willing to open up your mouth and ask.
For sure. For sure. For sure. And
Mm-hmm.
also, be able to offer something to them as well. Even if it's, I
Uh,
would say, not necessarily monetary, like, but
mm-hmm.
show them praise, or let them know that you've done your research, right? Not just how did you do this? I'm in this field and I'm trying to do
I'm
this. You don't think so?
disagreeing.
Tell me
I'm
why.
disagreeing. I recently had a conversation
Hmm.
via LinkedIn
Okay.
with a correspondent from E who I've never
Okay.
met,
Okay.
do not know, and I was just asking her about how she was making certain moves and how she was
Okay.
coming up with her plans. And I had nothing to offer her, nothing other than saying, "Hey, I'm like you and I'm trying to figure this out." It wasn't, "Can I do something for you?" It wasn't even a full list of like flattery saying like, "I love what you do." is me saying, hey, female to female, I'm trying to figure this out. Do you have any tips?
That's good. That's good. But I also feel like in a certain way you showed her that you piqued interest in her, right? And I don't think
Mm-hmm.
you asked, I'm sure you didn't ask in a way that seemed it was like a bother or a drain. I'm sure the way you worded it was I don't want to say empowering, but I think there's a positive and a negative way to ask people for help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I
Okay.
think you probably
On
went
that, I
so that's
agree.
so that's what I sort of
Yeah.
mean. Like, don't do it in a way that makes them feel like I don't want to say obligatory,
It's
but
not owed. It's not owed to you.
right.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have a sense of entitlement when you were speaking to her.
No.
You see what I mean?
If
And so
if
that's what I mean
any
when
job
when you
that you
bring it.
have, you can't have a sense of entitlement. I don't care if you're trying to be a nurse. If you're trying to be a nurse, if you're in hospitality, if you're trying to be in entertainment,
Right.
you won't last.
For sure.
You have to be humble. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be able to adjust and be molded while staying true to your core values. And you have to know what those things are. Otherwise, you are someone else's puppet. You have to know what you're going to stand for. You have to know, hey, this isn't a line I'm going to cross. Like I interviewed Yandy
Hmm.
the day that Mendices had gotten sentenced before he came out of
Hmm.
jail. And I remember that was a very like sensitive moment. And I had people on one side that was like, oh, go in and remind her. Her man's going to jail. She's about to be a single mother. And it boiled down to me saying, that's not who I am.
Hmm.
If there wasn't a camera, my conversation wouldn't be to tear her down. So I'm not going to do it because there is a camera.
Right. Right. Right.
And I made sure to convey that to her before we even started our interview. And it turned out to be like a really great, bubbly one. And instead, I'm like playing with a daughter, and we still have a great, like, working relationship with each other. And I think it's,
Love it.
you have to know your skills and know your talents. There are other journalists and correspondents. There's one, uh, Miss Lissa. She's somebody that definitely gave me help when I was starting out. And I've always told her, I was like, you're the next Wendy Williams. She can
Mm.
ask you those cutthroat questions and not think twice. And I remember I said to her, I
Right.
was like, I appreciate people like you because you ask things I would be like, oh no, I'm not, but that's your lane and you're comfortable with it. And the fact
Right.
that you own that, if that's who you are, then be that. But if that's not who you are, don't try to grow some. Don't do
Right. You have to be. You
it.
must always be authentic to yourself. No, that's good.
Always. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So what's next for you, my dear? In
What's
this,
next?
how are we doing?
Well, did you hear the siren? I'm in New York.
It's okay.
The next step for me is I'm waiting for my show to come out, and this whole COVID-19 is not helping me because there were some more episodes that I'm hoping to film in the season, and I really wanted to be part of this season.
Okay.
Like, I've worked so hard. So, seeing that on TV, and I'm in New York now. I'm trying to figure out, what this all means because now I'm home. And this is my first interview. A lot of other things they've asked me to do, but I'm actually taking advantage of being home. I've
Mm.
been traveling a lot, a lot, a lot. So in the past 4 years, I've literally lived on the road, and this is the longest amount of time I've ever had at home. I've never had more than 2 weeks at home in 4 years. So I'm not rushing the whole
Right.
gotta get back to work, gotta film. And I actually had a meeting this week and just started telling people like, I guess this week I'm open to conducting a few interviews and I'll start reaching out to people. So that's where I'm at. I think the biggest key is like don't feel pressured, especially with us having this downtime and knowing everybody's home. Don't feel pressure to put stuff out. If your whole heart is saying be still, then be still. If your whole heart
Mm.
and mind is saying this is my time to create, go go go, then do it. But own that.
That's
Yeah.
so good. So we've got some love for your brows.
Oh, thank you.
Looking good, my good friend. Looking good, looking good.
Thank you.
So this has been everything. And I have so much information to share with my homegirl because, she had asked the original question, of course.
Okay,
And so
okay.
I want to I want to say thank you again for doing this. I'm so, like I said, overwhelmed. I can't wait to play this back and get re-inspired. So, like everyone's chiming in,
This
yes, your
is
brows, your
this
brows, your
is
brows.
a whole moment for me. Like you've given me so much joy. One, not just from the text message, because I did not remember the text message, but I do remember the conversation. And I remember even following up years later, and you said, I'm working on something and I'm gonna put it out. This is my invitation of you right now.
That's it's pretty good
So
actually.
then so then running into you on 42nd Street. Do you remember this? I
Yes.
was like going crazy. I was running late for an interview with
Yep.
Poetry.
I
And I'm
remember.
like running, and of all people, I ran smack dab into you. I was like, hey!
It was so weird. Yes. I don't know why I was
And I
in New
have a
York.
lot of like energy going. And I was just like, oh, I gotta say hi. I gotta say hi. Okay, I gotta go.
Yes.
Because you're like, what is going on? I was like, I gotta go to
There was a
BB King's. I gotta
yes,
go.
yes. I don't know why I was in New York. But yeah, it was late. It was
No,
I
it
do
was
remember that.
daytime. It was daytime because I was interviewing them before their set. And so I had like plenty of
Okay.
downtime with yeah, with both of them. Yeah.
Um this has truly been amazing and I'm so happy that we did this. I, like I said, have gained so much information and so much knowledge, and I know that you've definitely imparted some good wisdom on the
Good luck
listeners. And
tomorrow.
so, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
thank you,
You
thank
got it.
you.
You got it. You got it. Can
I'm
I ask you to do
excited.
one thing?
Mm-mm.
How do you
Let's
introduce
wait,
yourself?
wait, look, wait. Let's do this off the interview.
Wait, no. This is easy. And this is for everybody that asks you the same question. I got one question. That's it. That's it. Just one. Just one. Just one. Just one.
Okay, let's go. Look,
I just
ready.
want to hear you introduce yourself by just saying your name. That's it.
Oh,
You said it all your life. You know it. Yeah, you got
yes.
this. Yeah.
Hi, I'm
All right.
Ashlee Eason. Nice to meet you.
That's how
That's
you
it. That's all
introduce
I
yourself
got.
on camera. Come on,
Yes,
give me
yes.
power pose it up. Cause your voice just all of a sudden went out of here. Where's
Oh my goodness, this is really
Come on,
happening.
just
Okay.
one. Yes, this is happening. Everybody can practice it. I had to do it too. I just want to hear your name.
Because I'm so nervous. I don't know why
But it's
this happens
me.
to
This
me
is
every
me.
single
This is just
time.
me. This is just me and you. Come on.
This is so bad, guys. Like
Stop
my
it.
jaw
This
is
is
getting
great.
tense and
You're
everything.
making excuses. Stop.
Okay. Hi. Hello, my name is Ashlee Eason.
Thank you. That's it. It's perfect. So and this is your program, and this is your show. I lied when I said I had one thing. I always got one more. I need you to close us out.
Well, Tabby, thank you so much, Tabitha. Thank you so much for being on the show. I hope that you all follow Tabitha to see what she has coming up next. You won't be disappointed, I promise. This has been a great interview. And like I said, I can't wait to tell my homegirl everything that I learned. She's going to be so excited.
Thank you. I love you. Thank
I
you.
love
Thanks,
you. Thank you so much.
everybody.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye. I don't know how to close this thing. What? I
I
guess
got
let's
it.